What's up, guys? Welcome back to Pound for Pound House. So I had to talk on this, guys. The situation that everybody's kind of talking about with Sean Strickland and DDP, and how that people think Sean Strickland won, and it was it's back and forth thing. So if anybody who's been following me and watched some of my older videos knows that I'm not really a person that likes to call very competitive fights a robbery, because there wasn't a robbery. I think it was just a very good competitive fight. Now, when you're looking at the fight as a whole, there were some things that you might want to take into account, and I could see why some people were upset. I had a 3-2 going for Strickland. That was personally where I was looking at. But as you see in my previous videos, I already said that Duplessis was going to win. And I always thought he was going to probably be either by submission or decision. That's where I was kind of looking at it. And that happened. But I also think when you look at the fight, there was a few factors, right? So Duplessis was able to take Sean Strickland down. Now, granted, he didn't do anything with it, right? There wasn't much action on the ground. He wasn't able to keep him down. Strickland got right back up. So some people look at that and say, how do we score that? Is that even something you look at and score and say, hey, well, that, does that even count? Well, it does. Points, for people, when somebody takes somebody down, it's points. So now when you look at it, and the reason why I'm saying this is because if you look back at some of the old fights, right? So like John Jones versus Dominic Reyes, or when you look at Islam Makhachev versus Volk, they were both, very, very close contested fights. And then you had where John Jones took down Dominic Reyes, and people were like, oh, well, that wasn't much done with that, but he still got the W for it. Same thing with Islam Makhachev, took down Volk, held him down for majority of a round, and, got the W. So people look at that and go, well, some people just don't agree with it. But the reality is it's an MMA fight. So everything is included in this. This is not just, striking and that that damage only or cage control. So there's a lot of factors that play into it, and taking down someone has that as well as part of it. Now, when you look at the fight that happened between Strickland and DDP, Strickland, obviously, I feel like in the 1 and 2, I feel like he was a lot more, especially the one he had him. He was keeping him away with the jab. I kind of scored him at least maybe the second or third round, one of those rounds. And then I gave 2 to DDP as well. So the thing was, in this fight, that I think the whole fight came down to that last round. That last round was the deciding factor of where this fight was going to be. I thought the last round went to Strickland because I think he turned it up. Did you guys, I don't know if you guys remember, if you were watching or listening when the corners were talking, and Sean Strickland, his coach was telling him, hey, listen, get the inner kid out of you. We're fighting for the inner kid. I mean, Sean Strickland showed up in the 5th round, which is great. Now, even though he didn't get the W, I think he got the W with the fans, because the fans obviously loved the fight. It was an amazing fight. Easily the best fight on the card. Congratulations to DDP. But like I said, you cannot be mad that a competitive fight, somebody took a competitive fight. Somebody won the competitive fight. Either side. If it would have went to Strickland, people would have been mad. Other people would have been mad. If it went to DDP, some other people are mad. And honestly, it's okay. It's what it is. There's always going to be 2 opinions on something. But the reality is, when it's a competitive fight, I don't think there's a robbery. I think competitive fights can go either way. And usually, whichever way it goes, kudos to that person who went. And that's it. The robberies are the ones where one person has literally just freaking beat the shit out of somebody for 3 or 5 rounds and still gets an L. Those are robberies. But that didn't happen in this case. This was a lot of back and forth. So congrats again to DDP. Great fight. What's next for him? We'll see. Some of the other things I did want to quickly just touch up on: Neil Magny, Mike Mallot. fuck, Neil Magny was getting the shit beat out of him for two and a half rounds. And then I actually, now that I look at it, Mike Mallot was actually doing the same thing that Ian Gary did by kicking his legs out, which was starting to take in effect. But unfortunately, you know, that third round didn't work out for Mike Mallot, and he got put away. Now, I mean, that was a great fight overall. Sucked for Mike Mallot. Great for Neil Magny. Still stays as the gatekeeper for the welterweight. So we'll see how, you know, where they go from there. But I think Mike Mallot's still a great contender. I think he still has a chance to break into the top 15. He's a great fighter. I think he just wasn't his night this night. He just got outclassed by a veteran. So it is what it is. The middleweight fight was good with Chris Curtis and Mark Andre. Great fight. You know, it was a fight. It was something I expected from Chris Curtis. Honestly, I didn't think it was going to be a knockout. I thought it was just going to be a decision fight. But listen, good for him. Glad he took it and won. Now, going on to featherweight, Arnold Allen and Movsar. There's been some stuff about, you know, that those kicks, those knees that were landed while he was down. From what I understand, typically your hand is supposed to be flat down on the ground. And then if somebody knees you, it's considered illegal. Now, I don't consider myself some super expert on these specific details, but that's from what I understand. But it looked like maybe if not all of them were legal, at least one or two might have been illegal. Regardless, it was an illegal knee if it happened. I mean, they looked at it as that. We can't change what the ref saw. We can't change, you know, that moment, because ultimately, let's just say if the camera shows that the hand wasn't exactly touching, he still stopped the fight. You understand? That momentum was stopped at that point. So let's just say if it wasn't illegal and, you know, Arnold Allen was in the right spot and he was in the right there and he would have needed him, he would have continued that momentum and probably got the win, because he would have, you know, clipped them, dazed them, whatever it would have been, and he would have been, you know, wobbly. So he would have got taken out. Big chances of that happening. Or Movsar could have recovered. So there have been so many different ways that would have went. But the reality is that the ref stopped it. Movsar got himself together, came back, won the decision, and that was that, honestly. So, you know, if you're complaining about it, sorry, man, eat shit. It is what it is. I'm sorry, but like, it is what it is. The fights, it is what it is. There's so many times we see incidents, accidents happen, shit happens. Allen's not a dirty fighter. It is what it is. Things happen. But I thought this was a decent card. Not a great, I think it was a decent card. Some of the fights were really good. I personally did not watch the whole card. I didn't get to watch the early prelims. I just watched one fight out of the early prelims. Was the Jasmine Jastavidish, whatever. I'm not even gonna attempt this. Anyways, Jasmine. She that was a great fight by her. So I did get to see that. And but that was that. Aside from that, the fight was a good card. It was a good card. Not the best card, but it was a good card. I'm excited for 298 now. I think 298 is going to be an absolute banger. 299 even better, and hopefully 300 is the big bang. But you know, hey, good start to the year so far. Decent cards for the year to start off. For January, what did you guys think? What's your thoughts on this? Did you agree with the decision? And where does Strickland go from here? I mean, we'll see. We'll see. But congrats to DTP, and leave your thoughts in the comments below. And hey, let's hopefully we keep getting great, amazing fights throughout the year. I'll see you guys on the next one. Hey guys, thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like this video. Also, if you're enjoying the content, please consider subscribing, and don't forget to hit the bell icon so you can see all the new videos I upload.